According to Finance Minister Ahmetaj, the implementation of justice reform has been assessed as the solution to all the problems raised in the US State Department's report on business climate. Through MP Tabaku, the Democratic Party accused the government of helping its clients to profit by not holding the procurement process for more than 65 million euros worth of tenders. Families, friends and associates gave their final farewell to Luan Hajdaraga, a former defence minister and well-known professor of psychology. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 31st of July 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Finance Minister Ahmetaj has accepted the problems raised by the US State Department for the investment climate in Albania, but he links the solution with justice reform. According to the finance head, the main challenge is a strong and transparent justice, since full implementation of the justice reform would remove corruption, boost foreign investment and make Albania more competitive. Reform of justice will discourage corruption, promote foreign and domestic investment and allow Albania to compete more successfully with the world economy. For all those who try to hinder reform of justice and the vetting process, stop, because it is an act against the Albanian citizens, said Ahmetaj. With regard to private-public partnership concessions, Ahmetaj said that it is a procedure that is implemented all over the world. However, he did promise that in the middle of next year, legal changes will be made to ensure no unchallenged bids can be accepted. Beginning, perhaps by the middle of the next year, there will be no unchallenged bids on road infrastructure projects, said Ahmetaj. The head of finance stated that the level of foreign investment in the country is satisfactory, since only during the first 3 months it totaled 284 million euros, and that the expectation is that it could amount to 980 million euros by the end of the year. After the publication of a report from the US Department of State declaring that Albania remains a difficult place to invest, former Finance Minister Ahmetaj suggests the government take concrete measures to change the situation. According to Ahmetaj, the problems raised in the report should be treated with seriousness, as this would have an impact on the opening of negotiations. Luckily, we have a scanner and we know the problems we know and the diseases that culminate in our economy. The time to act should be as fast as possible. Accountability to act should be as legal and professional as possible. The criticisms of the US Department of State and the findings and recommendations of the European Court of Accounts must be carefully considered and acted upon without delay. I emphasise this especially in the relationship with the EU. We will open the negotiations, but this means that the 27 countries will envision one by one the Albanian legislation, said Ahmetaj. Ahmetaj says it is important that foreign investors do not face obstacles in developing their business in Albania. Every company from any of the 27 countries should not be forced to face obstacles such as political involvement, unfair competition or restriction of procurement processes, said Ahmetaj. According to the former head of finance, immediate measures should be taken to increase transparency and fight corruption. We must create public procurement legislation to minimise cases of use of public money without a contest. Secondly, the responsibility in managing public finances with maximum transparency down to every coin used of the Albanian state budget. Finally, we must also change the political will in order to deliver the maximum reduction of corruption cases, said Ahmetaj. According to the report from the US State Department, Albania remains a difficult place to do business, with the main concerns being corruption, competition and public procurement. Referring to an analysis of the European Court of Auditors, the Democratic Party accused the government of stealing 1/3 of Albanian taxes through public tenders. DP MP Tabaku said that this is also why the taxes have increased. Tabaku says that the more citizens pay, the more opportunities there are to steal. Similarly, as we stated a few weeks ago, the European Court of Auditors data shows that 30% of the tenders agreed upon by the Rama government are provided through the corrupt method of negotiating without a proclamation. The European Court of Audit has come up with figures indicating that 1 out of 3 companies abusively benefit from tenders, avoiding fair competition procedures that would save the budget millions of euros from the taxes of Albanians. It is now widely known that the government is personally engaged in these tenders to win for its client companies, which share the stolen funds with the Prime Minister himself and his ministers, said Tabaku. According to Tabaku, the total value of tender agreements reaches 250 million euros, with 65 million euros in value having been agreed upon without an application process. Now, this definition is no longer just a statement by the Democratic Party, but is the end of a detailed analysis that the European Court of Audit has conducted. There is scary theft going on with public tenders in Albania. To better understand how Rama steals using his gang of thieves, here is a simple fact. From the 250 million euros tender, 65.5 have been procured without an application process. This money goes in the pockets of government clients and friends, accused Yorida Tabaku. High-level corruption is holding foreign investors hostage, says Yorida Tabaku, and according to her, the report of the US Department of State speaks of the blackmail by Prime Minister Edi Rama to foreign businesses in order to connect them with his clients. September will see the start of the property reform, dealing with the union of property institutions, the merging of institutions to form the National Property Agency, as well as the ability to acquire a title of ownership through digital means. Prime Minister Rama made the announcement today during a meeting with the coordinators of co-government at the Prime Ministry. In September, we are ready to launch the reform for which we have been working on since last summer, establishing the union of property institutions and the National Property Agency, said Edi Rama. With the establishment of the new institution, there will be an appeal structure so that the citizens are not obliged to go to court, but can appeal within the institution. Within this new institution, an appeal structure has been created so that citizens are not obliged to go immediately to court, but instead can appeal to an autonomous structure, a kind of citizen lawyer in the institution, said Edi Rama. As for the Office of Co-Governance Coordinators with Citizens, it will continue to function even during the holiday season. The passing of former Defence Minister Luan Hajdaraga has left his wife and children grieving. During his memorial, where the final farewells were given, many politicians were in tears as they recalled the years of work and friendship, sharing with the public what made him so important: tolerance and patience to resolve conflicts. President Ilir Meta praised the dedication to work. The head of the state has cooperated with Hajdaraga since the beginning of his political career. Prime Minister Edi Rama honoured the distinguished professor as one of the most important contributors to the Socialist Party, while in the name of his cabinet, condolences were expressed by the Minister of Defence, Ahmetaj. Democratic MPs also paid homage, while the Socialist Movement for Integration chair, Monica Kruemadi, was in tears when she recalled their years of cooperation. For her, Hajdaraga brought the changes to the SP. Others, including politicians and those closest associates of the challenges of the Socialist Party and economic changes of the country, remember Hajdaraga with even more nostalgia. Pandeli Maiko was Prime Minister at the time when Hajdaraga held the post of Defence Minister in 1999. Saimir Tahiri even returned for a few minutes to the Assembly in a rare appearance since the MP had his mandate removed and he decided to be less present in the media. Tahiri gave his condolences to the Hajdaraga family. The homage was held in the Assembly Hall where Hajdaraga gave his contribution in 1992 as a Socialist Party MP. He passed away at the age of 70 following a severe cerebral hemorrhage 3 months ago. The municipality of Tirana is committed to the construction of the new National Theatre. This is the position of Mayor Arion Veliai, who states that despite the circumstances and the game of politics, the theatre will be built. Leadership means doing what is right, regardless of circumstances. Building a theatre, I believe, is right, just as it is right to donate blood as well. We have made this commitment and, regardless of the circumstances or the way the politics of the day goes, regardless of who blocks or unblocks our path, no matter who wants to debate or become an obstacle, life continues, and I believe that. These are our obligations and our commitments, and we will always keep our word, said Arion Veliai. Meanwhile, the Parks and Recreation Agency also joined President Ilir Meta's blood donation initiative. Mayor Veliai added that there is a greater need for the will to contribute than to block, and as such, he called on other municipalities in the country to join the blood donation initiative. We will continue with the same dedication. We have drafted an annual calendar, and I would like to invite all the colleagues of the other municipalities to join. Very good to come to Tirana to block the theatre or other works, but it will be better for everyone if, with the same will that they blocked the works of Tirana, Kamza and Shkodra, they shifted to continue to the donation of blood. I believe we should have more will for construction rather than for destruction, more will for contribution than for opposition. I believe that other municipalities will follow this example. Meanwhile, Tirana is the largest municipality and, of course, the municipality that always offers the highest quality in any public work or that which we have to do in solidarity, said Erion Veliai. The blood donor initiative was joined also by the municipal staff and the municipal police a few days ago. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.